Hi, my name's Lynda Bellingham, and I want to tell you a little bit about domestic violence, not something perhaps that you've come across, then you're very lucky. Because there is a call to the police every minute, 24/7 in this country, and 2 women a week are killed by their partners, and 75% of calls relating to domestic violence are not reported to the police. This is endemic in our society. And one of the reasons I'm sitting in front of you is that perception of the kind of woman who is attacked in her own home is completely and utterly wrong. I'm a very successful actress, and from 1983 until 1996, when I was on the screens on a regular basis as the beloved OXO mum, the nation's treasure, I was in an abusive relationship. And I think it's very important that you understand that it is not just about a woman on a council estate on a Saturday night with a drunken husband. It affects every single class and culture of society. And one of the most important things also to understand, and why I'm talking to you in reference to refuges and backup, is that the greatest risk for a woman is not the running away. Yes, it takes 7 attempts normally to leave. 7 attempts. And again, it's very hard for the outside world. Well, why? He hits her. Why doesn't she leave? Why is she so pathetic? What about the children? What you need to understand is that it's the most tiring, the most degrading, the most debilitating thing that can happen in your life. I was abused for 16 years, and every day I got up, it took all my energy just to get through the day. There wasn't any time left to think about running away. And society, it has improved, let me tell you, and the police do a fantastic job as much as they can. But you have to understand that day in, day out, you live in total fear in your own home. And the energy required to get your children to school when you've been locked in the living room all night or had a knife to your throat all night is phenomenal. So 7 attempts to leave doesn't seem that much, does it? I'm here because I want you to think about raising money and donating money to the Welwyn Hatfield Refuge. This was set up in 1990 and is one of the, not enough, may I say, refuges for women to run to, but a very, very, very important place nevertheless. The ladies who run it understand the importance of knowing for a woman who wants to leave that there's somewhere to go. They have places for 10 women plus 25 children and cots. In the great scheme of things, that's nothing. But if those 10 women's lives are saved, it's huge. In my experience, it is the hardest thing to leave. And as I say, the most dangerous part for a woman is the period just after she's left. But if you have somewhere to go, people who understand what you're feeling, people who can get you through the day, it is vital. Welwyn Hatfield also run an outreach, which is the same thing. They get the same advice, the same help, the same backup, but they don't actually stay in the home itself. And this is ongoing. So if it takes 7 attempts and they come back each time, they are still there for them. This, to me, is vital work in our community. Domestic violence, can you believe, affects every single facet of our society, right through the workplace. Can you imagine how many people go to work in a morning or actually don't turn up for work because they've been beaten up? It's not just actually the physical violence, it's the mental abuse. To be told day in, day out that you're useless, and then you get to work and something goes wrong. Who do you tell? You feel useless. You perform badly. £1.9 billion is lost every year in the workplace due to domestic violence. If you think about our society at the moment, violence is everywhere. So if you have it in your home, never mind in a video, on television, in a film, walking down the street, if you face it day in, day out, in your own living room, believe you me, it's a very hard thing to break away from. And one of the other biggest things in our society at the moment, it's fantastic, we are a multicultural society, but there are cultures, unfortunately, who accept it as part of a relationship between a man and a woman. I remember giving a talk at Hendon Police Station to a lot of Russian cadets, And after I'd finished, one of them came up very pleasantly, shook my hand, and said, very interesting, this is very good, but in Russia it's perfectly okay to give wife slap. No, it's not perfectly okay. In this country, it's against the law. And as long as we have laws, we must enforce those laws. And that will do away with a cry of racism, or you don't understand my culture, or it's against my religion. No, it's very simple. It's like drinking and driving. If you're driving, don't drink. I want this country to accept it is totally, totally not acceptable to hit a woman, or for a man or for a woman to hit a man. Don't get me wrong. The increase of violence from young men against their mothers is phenomenal. So the police then can deal with it. You can turn round. If you're not capable of talking to your husband, call the police. It is against the law. Please, please, will you help Welland Hatfield and other refuges like them? It is the one thing we can do, is to create a society where you do not have to live in fear, where you close the door and your house is your castle, where your child can sit safely, not that you're all lying in bed at night waiting for that key to turn, waiting for those steps on the stairs. Believe you me, if you've never been frightened, you have no idea what it feels like. It affects every single thing you do every day of your lives. Please, I beg you, if we all put some money together, it's what we're good at in this country. Let's make our society somewhere safe and pleasant to live. Don't drink, don't drive, don't hit. Thank you.
What did you think Refuge was like before you came here?
That question. I thought the first image that came into my head was a hostel. I thought it was going to be very dirty, a lot of drug users, alcohol users, loads of kids. You just, like, you know, when you're homeless and you go to them shelters, one of them, that's literally what I thought. But then obviously you come here and it's complete opposite to that. But yeah, you don't have a very nice image in your head when they first say the word refuge. Literally when you come here, you're like, it's like an upgraded bed and breakfast, I suppose, but without breakfast. Yeah, that's what it's like. You do think, well, it doesn't look like a refuge. It looks clean and it's very homely and yeah.
Somewhere that was like dirty and the people in it were druggies and rough and pulling each other's hair out and you don't even say anything to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm totally honest, that's...
So how were you feeling then when you came here?
Petrified. Complete, I mean, it's a roller coaster of emotions, obviously. Am I doing the right thing? How is this going to affect my kids? Where am I taking my kids? Obviously, bearing in mind that was my opinion of where I was taking them, so was I completely mad taking them somewhere that was dirty, dingy and full of rough people? So yeah, scared. I think kind of really sums it up. Anxious, yeah.
That you came?
Yeah.
Because
it was better than what I'd got. Because I was scared at home. You know what I mean? Every day was the same, being anxious, not knowing what was going to happen. So it was, I don't know, neither one was a very nice option. But at home I kind of knew, well, if things did go wrong, what to expect. Whereas here it was kind of, I've just got to make the most of it. And it just seemed like the better option.
And how has being in Refuge changed things for you?
Do you know what? It's when you kind of, that's going to sound crazy, it's fantastic. And that sounds absolutely mad because I'm living somewhere where there are rules and you do have to conform, and it's not at all like living at home. But yeah, I mean, it's done so much for me. I mean, I've only been here not that long, but even in the short space of time, at the beginning, no, it wasn't great, and I can't necessarily remember the first couple of weeks of being here. It's kind of a little bit of a blur. And for my kids, that was a roller coaster.
How were you feeling when you arrived here?
Again, very nervous, In a way, glad I came. I'm not too sure what to expect. Very surprised, actually. By the surroundings, the people, the atmosphere. It was very calm, and it was quite, it was really nice. It was comforting when I came here, but it was lots of mixed emotions when I came here.
How's being in Refuge changed things for you? How are things different from then?
See, it sounds really, it's going to sound really cheesy, but literally, on my life, coming here is probably the best thing I've ever done. But that's me. I'm not saying that's, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say, oh, it's so great, but for me, it's the best thing I've ever done, because it helped me with not just what happened, but other things as well, like the stability factor. Obviously, I've never had that before. I've always had to go from place to place to place, because I've always private rented, stuff like that, and then I've had problems and I've had to move on or whatever. So to come here and actually be like, you know what, to sit down with my key worker and say, you know what, enough's enough. Let me decide wherever I'm going from here, but try and make it more permanent. You know, stop just trying to think of a quick fix. That's how I used to do things. So that's changed a hell of a lot.
So what do you think about the facilities here?
I think they're really good. Yeah, I think obviously you've got your laundry and you've got for kids. This is perfect for the mums and stuff. The kitchen, fantastic. Everything's clean. See, when you first come here, it is a bit like, you've got to share everything, but obviously you get your own. The bedroom's fantastic. I mean, it's clean, and you got your own bathroom. I think that is the most. When I didn't realise that I would have my own bathroom when I came here. So you think, oh, I'm probably going to share it with at least one person, but to have it en suite, and it's like, wow.
When I first came here, obviously because of what I thought it was going to be like, when I walked in through and burst into tears, because it was so lovely, and obviously my expectations were just completely put to one side, because everywhere's so nice. I mean, we all have to clean it ourselves as a unit. So obviously it's as clean as we keep it clean, but everything's new. All the facilities that you'd have at home here. So it is home from home, just on a bigger scale. So yeah, it meets my needs more
Quite
than
comfortable.
So,
Have you changed?
I think so. People are telling me I have. So yeah, the tears are slowly stopping. So I'm getting stronger. So yeah, it's kind of a really good positive that's come out of something so negative.
And what about your children?
Again, I mean, at the beginning, my older children suffered, and they found it more difficult, especially my son, being somewhere that was so female orientated, being stuck in a room with his mother for 24 hours a day, certain rules that obviously at home normally you can do. So yeah, he struggled with it, but again, it's another positive, because he's having to interact with all the other women within the house, and he's having a bit of banter with them, and it's really brought him out of himself. So again, I can't think of anything but a positive. And even speaking to him, I was sort of like, so is it all right? Yeah. There's not, do you know what I mean, a big pause, or like it was at the beginning, what the questions that I had at the beginning, why are we here? Why do we need to be here? Oh, it's not that bad, why can't we just go back home? Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, if I was to say to him, oh, we're going home, he'd be like, no, I don't think so.
My two youngest are they are feeling very happy at the minute. They know what's happening, and they know that, you know, we're going to have a good future ahead of us, and they can do more things. Actually, do more things now than we did in the past.
You do more things together?
We do more things together.
Right.
We talk more, and because I'm more relaxed, it helps me to interact with them. As you know, I'm a very active person, so before I came here, I wasn't as active. I was very down and depressed. And that reflects how you treat your kids. And I do think you have to be in a certain, I don't know how to put it, but, you know, not depressed, in a relaxed sort of state and happy for you for you to be happy with your kids, and they can see you're happy.
Mm.
So, yeah, definitely. My son's, he's just wild at the minute. He's loving it. They were like zombies. They were like so glued to the telly.
Mm.
They wouldn't even notice I'm in the room. Where now we don't watch telly hardly.
Mm-hmm.
Really, just maybe they have maybe an hour every couple of days.
You know, when they think about coming into Refuge, they think, oh God, what about the kids?
I thought my kids were going to have a breakdown.
Before you came?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd sort of lied to them as well, didn't I? Told them I'm going on a trip. And you know what's really funny? That the other day, only Aaliyah mentioned, Mummy, you said we were going on a trip again. But the fact that she didn't say, well, you lied.
Mm.
You know, she just said, oh, you said we're going on a trip. But that's cool. You know, she was like, you know, you're happy.
So
know?
do you think...
She's accepted it.
Do you think it's in a way... I mean, if you were to say whether it had been good for your children coming here or not good for your children coming here, what would you say?
It's a tricky one. It is, because I don't want them to end up like their parents.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause when kids see that, I think they end up following that pattern. So for me to get out of that and show my kids how life should be, yeah, that's the positive side. But the negative side is your parents split up.
And what do you think about the services that we offer here? The support service, the work that we do with you while you're here.
I think it's brilliant. I think I think it helps you. Even I didn't even realise it was helping at first, because I just used to go down and just talk, and then it would all sort of come out, and then you realise it is a bit like counselling in a way, because and they help you see without. It's not like my key worker said to me, oh, da 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 da. You realise it on your own, and you realise like, wow, he's actually, you know, because I still had problems after coming here, like being, you know, how to say, you know, like he attacked me in the street and stuff, and so, and then he would like play the mind games on the phone and had to change my number, but then he got it again, so stuff like that. So I still had, so I'm trying to, but then he had problems like with the self-harming, which he would. So I still felt that guilt, you know, and you come here and you think, like, is he gonna? The biggest thing is, is he gonna change, and can I change him? And then as you're talking to a key worker, they will just say certain things, and it will make you ask yourself certain questions. So that questions that you didn't ask before you come here, and that's when you start getting the answers that you never knew before you come here. You know, like I remember I told my key worker a story about what he did. And she said something, and I never, ever looked at it like that. And it's like calling grass green. It was that obvious. And I was like, it's kind of embarrassing in a way. You think I'm a smart person. How did I not see that as what it is? And it was that. But, yeah, I think the support is amazing. And you can literally just come down, and and it's very, obviously you get your key worker, so you mostly speak to your key worker. But I felt, and I think a lot of other people felt, you could come down, and if your key worker wasn't here, you could still talk to somebody else. You know, you could still walk in and just, if you really need to talk to somebody, or you really need, like, just anything. Like, I know I've had to, when I first got here, obviously you don't know what to do. So I was like, if you wanted to know a housing number, or because if you're not from the area, just a number, anything. There's literally, I've gone in there with such random questions. And if they don't know the answer, they'll knock on the office door and they'll ask someone to see if they know the answer. So I think that's very, very helpful, and to feel like you don't have to speak to your key worker all the time. If you really need to get something out, or you just need anything really, you can speak to others. And then you've got the other ladies as well. So, it's like a Superman, I think, Refuge. It is, it's like...
Superwoman.
Yeah, Superwoman. It is, it's just, yeah, so... I'm a bit carried away now. I'm just talking. It's funny to talk about it all now.
Well, you've answered the next question, really, that unless you've got anything else to say about it. Has the support you've received in Refuge changed anything for you? And it's changed the way you see what was happening to you,
Yeah,
and how
definitely.
you deal with it.
Because when I first come here, again, I said the only thing I will say is when I first come here, the words domestic violence never entered my head that was happening. And that sounds really stupid because you think, well, if your boyfriend's beating you up, that's domestic violence. Yeah, but when I was in it anyway, I can't speak for everybody else, but when I was in it, I never thought, oh, this is domestic violence. I just thought, oh, he just hits me. That's literally, I don't know if it's just me, or if I was just dumb or whatever, but that's what I thought. So when the police did get involved and they did mention you can get an injunction or you can go to Refuge, and I just thought, well, I'm not doing an injunction because it's all well and good by law, he can't do this, but that's not going to work. And second of all, Refuge, and I thought, no way. And it wasn't until I went online to your website and I was having a look, and it looked really nice and purpley, and I thought, oh, it can't be that bad. And then I spoke to somebody, and but then you come here, like I said, and you get, I think it is, you're in a bubble, you get out of the bubble, and it's just time to reflect and see things that you didn't see when you was in the bubble.
And what about the kind of support that you get, and the level of support in, sorting out things, sorting out problems that you arrived with and things for the future?
Because when you get here, I mean, whether you've been on benefits or whether you haven't, it's daunting. Do you know what I mean? Whether you pull up in your Mercedes and you've been used to having a ready available cash flow, you come in here and you've got nothing. And without you guys, I'd be absolutely stuck. And you work us through the process, but you do it. Money, no, it's not at our pace because we've got to get, you know what I mean? So that you have to push us into, forms have to be filled in and everything else. But everything after that is kind of at our pace. And I think probably the training that you've got, you judge whether we need to kick up the bum to get things moving or whether we can quite happily do it ourselves.
If you feel down, you can just talk to the staff. They're always there for you when you need help or support on the outside. What I would say is I've picked up a lot of knowledge being here. I've learnt a lot of things being here. And I don't know, I love the security as well.
You feel safe?
Yeah, I feel safe. Yeah, and usually I don't like cameras on me, but when you think of it in a different situation, it's actually a very, very good idea. It's like that.
And when you came here, you didn't know where you were going to live or what you were going to do.
I was very confused when I came here.
So do you think, what's your opinion of how that was dealt with by your key worker and the staff team? Your uncertainty and your anxieties around the future?
How shall I explain it? They made it, when I was talking to my support worker, she gave me options and she helped me. Well, I decided what I wanted to do, but she sort of gave me the options, and it made it easy for me to go down the right path, choose what's right for me and my kids. And she opened my eyes more to where I came from, because I was still a bit, unsure. Didn't just think I deserved to be here, so I had to get that out of the way. That was the most important thing, because if I couldn't deal with that, then I don't think I could have dealt with anything. I couldn't have moved on to the next bit.
What about relationships with the staff and kind of consultation about things? Do you feel as though you're kept informed and your opinions are asked for and things that you think about staff? Do you think you're involved in?
Yeah, I'm involved. Sometimes I don't want to be too involved. It's too complicated for me to even understand it. But
the opportunity's there.
If the opportunity's there, I like to get involved. I like to give my view and what I think of whatever I'm doing or whatever's been asked. But 9 times out of 10, I'm very, very good. Very good listeners as well. You can sit there and talk for ages, like me. You know, I can chat for England, and and you'll listen, and then you sort of tell me what you think, which is nice because I want to hear that. This is what I want. I want to hear what you think of what I've just said. And again, 9 times out of 10, what that person said is like, yeah, that's what I was thinking all along, but just need that someone else to sort of like confirm it, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's like we're on the same level. It's really bizarre. So I couldn't speak like that to just anyone out there, because they'll look at me like, what do you mean? You know, they'll just give you that strange look where you need to not necessarily go through it yourself, but yeah, you have to have some sort of experience, whether you've been through it yourself or you've seen it or you've just been around a lot of people that's been through it, which helps to talk to someone about, you know, abuse. And yeah, it could be anything really. Yeah.
What's the downside of being here?
Too much time to reflect. Obviously, I think when I first got here, it was way too much for me. It was like, all you do is think. All you can do is think. Because it's not for everyone, because I know there's certain people here who come in and they start talking to everybody straight away. Whereas me, because I didn't, I was on my own. But I isolated myself. And so I found that very, very hard. I think it is when you do come, you need to take a leaf out of another lady who only got here a couple of months ago, and she just, you know, made the push and just, you know, tried very hard, whereas I isolated myself, so it's very hard, because all you do is sit there and think. And even though you think about the things, you know, like, oh, what's happened is wrong, and you start to see that, you also start thinking, can I change? We've had this time apart, he's realised what he's lost and all that, and then you start thinking, oh, can it work, and stuff like that. But that's when you have to realise, I think you're gonna have days like that. You can't. I think I was very much. I came here and I was like, oh, that's it, and it wasn't it. And I was just kidding myself. So you need to be honest with yourself, I think.
Institutionalised is a bit of a strong word, but I can see if you're in here for too long, you are in this bubble. You know what I mean? And it is very protective. Another downside, obviously, friends, close friends and family can't come to visit you. You've always got to make that move, and obviously to meet people out of where we are. So that's a bit alien in that sense. You've always got to be conscious of what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? So you don't slip up about certain things, especially if you've got, like me, I've got older children. You've got to drum that into them. And again, with them, it's difficult because obviously sometimes they'd like their mates to come over at the weekend, and obviously that can't happen. Another downside, it'd be quite nice to sit down with a glass of wine for my dinner, and I can't. It's not that I'm an alcoholic, but sometimes it would really help at the end of the day. But again, I understand why.
It was comforting when I came here, but it was lots of mixed emotions when I came here. It's only a couple of a week, I suppose, into it, started realising this is a good place to be in. Felt safe, and because I'm quite a private person anyway, I don't like people knowing my business. So yeah, this is somewhere you can talk to someone, and you know, they won't be telling someone else, and I can relate to the other women as well. I think that's the most important bit I like being here. I can relate to the other women, and I can say to myself, I've been through that, or I understand where you're coming from, and I believe in myself now that I deserve to be here, and I was being abused, maybe not so much physically, but definitely mentally.
And is that something you hadn't been fully aware of while
I wasn't aware of it at all, even when I came here. If it wasn't for the help and the support I got, then I definitely wouldn't have come here. And I'm really happy that I didn't go into a sort of, my own sort of space. I don't know how to put it, but you know, where I can't talk to anyone. Where coming here is you get to express yourself, and you get to understand that you have been abused, and you have to, you know, try to accept it, because I find it hard to accept that I was being abused. I knew it wasn't right, but I wouldn't have classed it as abuse, if you know what I mean, because I just had to get out. I knew I got to the point where I couldn't handle it no more. You know, I thought I was going to explode, but yeah, I'm kind of now I'm nice and I'm happy. I feel very lifted, spirited. Yeah, I could jump up and down. Yeah, I feel really stronger as well. A lot stronger. I've no worries. I'm not looking back. If you know what I mean, of what happened, as much as I did when I came here. Now it's like, move on, future. That's how I'm thinking now. I want to do a lot better, you know.
Yeah. So did you feel you didn't have much of a future?
No. Before I came
coming,
here, no. Everything, my future was put on hold. And I thought, I do believe now it was going to stay there. I mean, I didn't get anywhere for the past 5 years, so I can't see me getting anywhere for the next 10 years. Even though mentally, that was more frustrating for me, because mentally there's so much things I want to do, but I can't do it. Well, I wouldn't say I can't do it, but that person was stopping me from doing it, which really frustrated me. And now I feel free. You know, sort of, I can just spread my wings and I can just go for it, and there's no one there to stop me.
Waiting on the platform and the rain's falling down. Didn't think I'd get to leave this town. Didn't think I'd get away from you and all the sorrow that you put me through. But I'm starting on a different life. The things you said made me die inside. Now I'm going away to reclaim my pride. Walking around in a strange town where no one knows your face. You'll never find me, no you never will. Now I'm in a safer place. I'm scared that things won't go so well. There are stories I can never tell. The times you said that I drove you mad, it was all my fault. I was bad, but I'm starting on a different life. The things you said made me die inside. Now I'm going away to reclaim my pride. Walking around in a strange town where no one knows your face. You'll never find me, no you never will. Now I'm in a safer place. Now I feel my life belongs to me. I'm twice the woman that I used to be. Good times will come my way. I'm so glad that I didn't stay, as I'm starting on a different life. The things you said made me die inside. Now I'm going away to reclaim my pride. Walking around in a strange town where no one knows your face. You'll never find me, no you never will. place. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Here's a little song about Winnie. She married handsome Sam. He called her my own little wife. She called him my man. Oh, what a lovely wedding, 100 guests or more. Before the honeymoon was over, he knocked her to the floor. Oh, what a lovely marriage, he never left her alone. She always wore a high neck blouse, she must have been accident prone. Whenever the neighbors heard the noise, the cops come rolling along. Saw his fist and her black eye, hello, is there anything wrong? On Saturday he beat his own little wife, on Sunday he bashed the kids. One Monday morning when he woke up, this union is on the skids. So after 11 heavenly years, to make a long story short, one day Sam went a little too far and Winnie took Sam to court. Oh, what a lovely trial. Sam had the shock of his life. He stood in the dock and he stared at the judge. You mean I can't beat my wife? If you think things are gotta get better, shout it right to the top. 'Cause women gotta make it change and women gotta make it stop. Man gotta make it stop, yeah. People gotta make it stop. People gotta make it stop. People gotta make it stop.